Welcome back to Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Last time, Rudius revealed that he was interested in a vial of aphrodisiac, which causes Eris to chase after him. As the date of Eris' 10th birthday party draws near, Rudius realizes that she needs to improve her dancing skills. Consequently, he decides to allow her dance teacher to take over a part of his tutoring schedule, creating a well-rounded learning experience for Eris. This gives Rudius some newfound free time, which he decides to put to good use by learning other languages. Despite her best efforts, Eris struggles to make significant improvements in her dancing. She even begins to consider giving up altogether, which leaves Rudius feeling worried. However, he refuses to give up on her and starts to help with her lessons, providing her with the support she needs to keep going. Meanwhile, with Ghislaine and Roxy's help, Rudius makes impressive progress on his foreign language skills. He becomes more fluent with each passing day, taking advantage of the extra time he has. On the other hand, Eris seems to be stuck in a rut, struggling to make any significant progress in her dance lessons. The day of the party arrives, and Eris fails to impress when she tries to dance with another noble. Rudius steps in to save the day, successfully dancing with her after instructing her to incorporate some of her fighting skills into her moves. The crowd is impressed, and Eris is overjoyed. After the party, Rudius meets Eris' grandfather, Saros, who spots a strange ball of light in the sky. He fears that it could be an ominous sign, leaving Rudius feeling uneasy about what's to come. 2 years have passed, and it's time for Rudius' birthday party. Unfortunately, Rudius is feeling down because his family can't attend due to the rising monster activity in the country. Despite this setback, Eris and her family host a party in Rudius' honor. To lift his spirits, Rudius is gifted with a top-quality magic staff. Moreover, Philip expresses his desire for Rudius to marry Eris and take his place as his successor. However, Rudius turns down the offer, feeling that his future lies elsewhere. As the night progresses, Rudius is in for a surprise when he finds Eris waiting for him in his room. With his hormones raging, he makes a move on her, but she resists his advances. Rudius realizes his mistake and apologizes profusely. Fortunately, Eris forgives him, and they both move past the awkwardness. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Which anime has the best soundtrack? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. A few days later, a massive cloud of mana appears in the sky, catching the attention of the legendary hero Perugius Dola. He dispatches his aide Arumanfi to investigate the source of the phenomenon. As Arumanfi observes Rudius practicing his magic with Eris and Ghislaine, he becomes suspicious that they might be involved with the cloud's appearance. Without warning, Arumanfi attacks Rudius, but Ghislaine comes to his defense, confirming his innocence. Suddenly, a blinding burst of light envelops them. As Rudius drifted through the ethereal world of his dreams, he found himself face to face with a mysterious figure. The elusive human god. This enigmatic being urged Rudius to rely on the man who saved him and to offer him his aid in return. Suddenly, Rudius awoke, only to discover that he and his companion Eris were stranded in the treacherous demon continent, with no hope of escape. Enter Ruijard Superdia, a member of the feared Superd race, who had come to their rescue. Despite their initial misgivings about him, Ruijard quickly proved himself to be a loyal and trustworthy friend, vowing to help them return home safely. As they journeyed through the hostile terrain, Ruijard shared with Rudius the tragic history of his people, who had been cursed by the malevolent demon god Laplace. The cursed spears they had received had transformed them into bloodthirsty killers, earning them a notorious reputation throughout the land. Determined to clear his friend's name and restore his people's honor, Rudius pledged to assist Ruijard in his quest. Together with Eris, they set out on a perilous journey across the demon continent, encountering countless dangers and obstacles along the way. Despite the many challenges they faced, the trio remained steadfast and resolute in their determination to succeed. With each passing day, they grew closer as they battled their way towards their ultimate goal. And in the end, their efforts were rewarded, as they finally emerged triumphant, having successfully completed their epic journey across the demon continent. As Rudius, Eris, and Regerd make their way into the bustling city of Rikarisu, they know that they have to be cautious to avoid any trouble. In order to avoid any unwanted attention, Rudius comes up with a clever plan to have Regerd pose as a member of the Megurdia tribe by dyeing his hair. With their disguise in place, the trio decides to take on the world as adventurers and are even granted official status as the Dead End group. However, despite their best efforts, their novice status holds them back from taking the higher-paying quests they need to make ends meet. Thankfully, a quest comes their way thanks to the suggestion of the all-knowing human god. They set out to find a lost pet, only to stumble upon a group of ruthless adventurers who have been kidnapping pets to claim the bounties. As the tense situation escalates, one of the kidnappers lands a blow on Rudius, which sends Regerd into a rage. In a flash, the attacker is gone, and Rudius is left to reprimand Regerd for his actions. Despite the chaos, the group emerges victorious, and Rudius uses his sharp wit to coerce the kidnappers into joining their party and taking on more challenging quests. With their reputation on the rise, the trio is well on their way to making a name for themselves in the world of adventure. After the mana surge in Fitoa, all of Paul's family members are missing, leaving Norn as the only one left. Concerned for their safety, Paul asks his contacts to mobilize search parties to find them. Meanwhile, Rudius' party sets out on a quest to find a mysterious monster in the heart of a dense forest. However, they're not the only ones searching for the elusive creature. They soon encounter two other parties, both on the same mission. Unfortunately, one of the parties falls victim to a surprise ambush by monsters. Despite the danger, Rudius chooses to wait, a decision that ultimately leads to one of the adventurers being tragically killed. As they continue their search, the monster they are after suddenly attacks and slays the second party before being defeated by Rudius and his team. Upon returning to Rikarisu, Rudius is confronted by an adventurer who has discovered his secret scheme to take on higher-ranked quests. Attempting to blackmail him, the adventurer is met with fierce resistance from Rudius, who is determined to protect Eris at all costs. In a moment of unexpected heroism, Regerd reveals his true identity as a Superd, intimidating the adventurer and warning him to keep quiet or face the consequences. Leaving the city behind, Rudius and Regerd set aside their differences and reconcile, continuing their journey with Eris towards a coastal city on the edge of the demon continent. However, little do they know that Roxy, Paul's former companion, is also on her way to the continent, accompanied by two other members of Paul's group. Before we continue, here's our shoutout. Thanks a lot to Lucid Host for responding to the question of the day on our Valx Love video with Yu Yu Hakusho. Thanks. Now, back to the recap. As they disembark from their travel, Roxy and her team arrive simultaneously by boat, but strangely, the two groups fail to run into each other. However, their arrival is met with a daunting reality. Regerd's boat fare is exorbitant, and the group is unable to afford it. As Rudius ponders a solution to their predicament, he receives another message from the enigmatic human god, who urges him to buy some food from a specific location. Following these instructions, Rudius discovers a famished vagrant and selflessly feeds her, unaware of the amazing surprise that awaits him. To his amazement, the famished vagrant unveils herself as the demon emperor Kishirika Kishirisu, who gratefully rewards Rudius with a powerful demon eye, enabling him to foresee events before they occur. Rudius soon puts this power to good use, saving a man from danger and cementing his status as a true hero. With his new power in tow, Rudius sets out to acquire the necessary funds to pay for Regerd's passage, but his plan comes under scrutiny from Regerd himself, who points out that it would hurt Eris's feelings. Despite the setback, the man Rudius saved appears before him, introducing himself as Gallus Cleaner. What will Rudius do next? Find out on our next recap of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation.